Hmm. Welcome back to Fire Force Anime Review, episode number 20. Yep, 20. Yeah, this one I'm reviewing the final episode of season 1, The Burning Past. Yep, and this one is chapter 88, the last 9 pages of the chapter because the previous episode adapted halfway through, and then it adapts the entirety of chapter 89. And mostly just about the entirety of chapter 90, with the exception of the last couple pages. Which is kind of good, because all that does is set up the very next chapter. So yeah, for chapter 90, just the first 16 pages. So with this episode, yes, the Netherwood arc is officially finished, along with the season itself. Episode first starts off with a scene that's actually not from the manga, it's anime original. It's just basically Vulcan taking Shira back to HQ, which takes place several weeks afterwards. I thought maybe they had pick up right where the last week's episode. Nope, they did not. This didn't happen for a few minutes. He goes back, sees Sister Iris, and then he sees Maki. Of course, he's very happy to see him. Tsubaki sees him. Arthur, of course, Lieutenant's happy to see him too. And then we have, well, of course, you have also on the roof the three mascots are hanging on the roof of the Fire Force building for some strange reason. Yes, as for the explanation for this, I have no idea why they're even here. Yep. So, Shira goes to meet with the captain, and pretty much have the rest of the episode, with the exception of the post-credit scene. This episode's post-credit scene. It's mostly him giving the brief of basically what happened, picking up where last week's episode left off, where we see Lieutenant from Company 6, along with one of the lieutenants of Company 11. One who's a nurse who actually is revealed to this episode to be the granddaughter of the commander of Company 4. Yep, his granddaughter. Interesting. Yeah, and part of this episode basically has Shira versus the captain of Company 1. It's a pretty interesting fight, and after Shira basically lands a good blow on his arm, he basically just calls the fight, he gives an explanation of what happened. And we get pretty much a full explanation of what happened from the night basically Shira got his power. Apparently, when his mother was killed, mother and brother were killed, that's when his powers activated. Which I'm like, that's interesting. Yes. And apparently the person who actually caused the fire with Nasa Marine Inferno was actually his brother. His Adola burst activated, all because of Haru when she was the one with the crown on her face. Yeah. Apparently she had activated Sho's Adola burst. And that inadvertently caused a fire, and also turned their mother into an inferno. And apparently, in the course, the captain, who of course this is the time when he was not the captain of Company 1. I don't think he was captain yet. Oh, he looks pretty much the same to 12 years. So he goes in, sees Shira's mom, who was Inferno, running out with Sho, and that's last scene. So there's an implication that Shira's mother is alive as Inferno, and basically he wants to find a way to turn her back into human. Which, okay, that's actually quite interesting. And, well, then after that, of course, he has a brief conversation with the smoking hot nurse lieutenant. Company 6 basically asks for a arranged meeting with her grandfather, and after we come back to present day, where he basically finishes the brief, and you think that's the end of the episode, but nope. We go brief through the credits, and we get a post-credit scene. An anime original post-credit scene. By the way, the actual ending of the actual chapter for chapter 90 is set up for 91 with the whole naked firefighters thing. Yep, it's basically now that is nothing unusual from what I can tell. It's basically done for charity. Yep. Now in the episode itself, we have Commander Habara. Yeah, in her only appearance in this entire arc. Yeah, this is by far her first appearance in the actual series itself. I mean, her last appearance was back in, I would say it was probably episode 19, which was the start of this arc. Yeah, when they were in the hospital. Yeah, that was the last official time she was seen in the series. So she was absent from this entire story arc, and then she comes back at the very end. Which is interesting, the fact they did that. Yep. And pretty much yeah, and basically she's got kind of drunk basically while she's there, and apparently Iris is basically doing. I think not Iris. I think it's Maki doing this whole the prayer thing while there. Yeah, and the captain of Company 7, who sees this is not, of course, it's not the first time he's come to this place. Actually, it's his first time. The lieutenant's not the first time he's actually come to company headquarters. He actually came there actually during the Preacher Pursuit arc. Yeah, he actually came in during that arc. So yeah, it was back in like episode like 11. No, it wasn't 11. It was actually at the start of the Vulcan's Workshop arc. Yeah, that was actually the first time they actually been there. And the captain company said was like, man, this place is a dump, which is definitely true. It's a recurring joke in this series that the company headquarters is not as shiny as a lot of the other ones. Yep, they have a party, and of course, Captain Ilby basically tries to give basically an explanation, like just like welcome everybody there, and then we see the three mascots, and we see in Japanese versions, "See you later," and that's the episode. Yep, and I did saw online that apparently we are going to get season 2. Thank you, David Production. And it's coming in July. So, not really that long period of time. Basically waiting 7 months. Not a full year like I did with My Hero Academia. Yeah, for its 4th season, we had to wait a whole year after the conclusion of the previous season to get season 4. At least this one's only 7 months and starts the same month that this season started in. Yep. Excuse me. Overall, really good episode. Definitely looking forward to season 2. Final thoughts on season 1. This season, by far, basically, because this is of course the whole series, is of course really good. Now, up until they got to for the first few arcs of the series, they kept a lot of stuff in surprisingly, maybe just here and there, which was fine. I mean, I would say for the first 4 arcs, it's really good when it comes to adaptation wise. Also, first season, they were kind of at sloppy this arc for some reason. Like, some scenes were basically heavily cut out for some strange reason. I have no idea why. Like, there was one thing, oh yeah, we're gonna investigate, we're gonna talk to some shop owner, which they don't do in the anime. In the manga, he actually does do it. Yeah, that was like a merger between like 3 different scenes. I'm not really sure why I did that for. Yeah, I would say adaptation-wise, it just felt like Asakusa looks very beautiful in day production. Adaptation-wise, it was a bit sloppy. Yeah, they cut some stuff unexpectedly out. Mostly put, it was a really well-told story. Yeah, as for in the case of Vulcan's Workshop, they kept a lot of stuff in. Mostly. I would say the only minor complaint I have by the arc is Commander Hybera. Yeah, she shows up like twice the entire arc, despite the fact she actually does play a small role in the actual story, toward the very end of the manga. In the actual arc itself, the manga version of the story. In the anime, you see her briefly like, oh, she's there, and like she rescues like Shira from being held captive, and then she see her try to confront 2 members of the White Clan soldiers, and then gets just knocked out, and then she's not seen again until Victor Light picks her up in a truck, and she's still unconscious. And you're probably thinking like, what the heck happened? Why is she still unconscious for? Because in the manga, she actually fought Shao, Shira's brother, briefly before she got knocked out by him. That's why they cut her out cut out this particular episode. I have no idea why. It's one of the most strangest things. And then you see her back at the hospital talking to Leg, which I don't mind the change the change they made. Where in the manga it was at some random wall in the actual manga. In the anime, is near a vending machine, which is fine. I think that was a fine change, but that was like, I would say for that particular arc, adaptation wise, it was done pretty well. Just like the fact that Commander Hybrid was mostly was cut out of that almost that entire arc. This arc in particular, well, they did pretty much adapt almost the entirety of the arc itself. I would say, exception of like for one chapter, they skipped over like 1 page. Yeah, it was something that Shira was seeing, apparently a hallucination of Commander Hybrid. And I think they also cut a couple other pages, which I thought that was weird. And they cut out like another panel from basically chapter, I think it was like 84. I think it was actually 85. And that, oh yeah. They also cut out like a big chunk, like of a couple of episodes. Yes, they cut out, like a huge chunk of chapters 86, 87. Yeah, for 86 they cut out like 6 pages. For 87 they cut out 5. Now, as for the reason for this, I have no idea. It's particularly very strange. Why in the world Day of Production is for? I mean, why would you cut out a very interesting scene? Yeah, it was like so bizarre they cut this whole scene out. Yeah, it's kind of like we have the surgery and then we just cut 3 days later. Like, what? Did we just miss a scene here? Yeah, it's like they cut out a scene here. Yeah, it's like we set it for that particular scene, but then we cut out for some strange reason. The final episode at least was done a lot better. At least they actually finished adapting chapter 88, which was really good. But I would say, mostly for this arc overall, that it was done really well, except toward the very end for the penultimate episode of the season and the second last episode of the arc, where they cut out like big chunks of the whole arc, which I thought that was weird, for a couple of the chapters. I thought that was kind of weird though, that the arc itself was still kind of going on, despite the fact that the arc itself kind of wrapped up with episode chapter 85. I mean, if you read the manga, it's like, I would say, like, if you look at it, like, if I can get to it, basically, it's like from chapter 67 to 85, roughly about 19 chapters. It's like the whole thing when you think of another war arc, and the last like 5 chapters is just the aftermath, and pretty much kind of set up for something else. It's kind of like this is like a mini arc within the actual major arc itself. That's what it seems like to me when you actually read the manga. In the anime, it's like just Netherworld, like hospital, and then fight, flashback, and then of course the party, which was a fine way to end the season. Not the first time they had a party in the season. This is like the third time, third time I could think of actually a party. The first time was actual barbecue they had. This was actually at the start of the Verse Company 1 arc, which I thought was interesting. Yep. Mostly put, yeah, really good arc. But mostly it was really good. The season overall was really good, and I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 when it comes out next year. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular. Stay tuned for one more review I'm going to do, and that'll be a review of the newest chapter on Punch Man. I'm going to read that next, and I'll do my review, okay? To the next video. Bye.